Welcome, everyone. I am your host, Michelle Oliver, and I am here today with Gio Bellis of Bellis and Wachowski. And we want to welcome you to this current episode of Bellis Business, Blues, and Bourbon. Welcome, George.
Hola, good
It's
afternoon.
lovely to see you this afternoon. Yes.
It's a lovely day here in Chicago. How is it in Colorado?
Oh, it's absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful blue sky.
And colors are changing?
Yes, they are.
Good. All right. So what do you want to know today?
I have a big question for you today. What do you see as the biggest problem or challenge for small businesses?
Well, let me start out with this, just so that people could see this. But first, I got to talk about a couple of things, okay? I want
Okay.
to talk I want to talk about my friend BB King.
Wow. Yes.
All right. I have a story.
Of course you do.
When I was tending bar in my wasted youth in Chicago on Rush Street, Mr. Kelly's was a nightclub there, and BB King was a popular performer there. And when the bar that I was working at closed, which usually closed a little earlier, I managed to worm my way into Mr. Kelly's because I knew the bartender there, and sat at the corner of the bar and listened to BB King. And then when he took a break, he came over and he saddled up to next to me at the corner of the bar. So I had a drink with him, but I listened to him with his guitar Louise quite often. And I don't know if everybody knows that his real name his name, BB came from Blues Boy King. If you want to hear or see a video of him at Mr. Kelly's, there's some videos about it on YouTube. But the other point is,
That's great. Let's back up a second. Because that is so interesting. I did not know that it came from Blues Boy King, and thank you for sharing that link. And I'll make it clickable for people. But that's remarkable, George, that you were sitting next to him.
yeah, but at that time I didn't have a bourbon in my hand, but I have today. Today I have Angel's Envy. Some people say it's not really a bourbon.
Oh,
That's why the bottom says it's a whiskey. So because it's not purely treated in charred oak casks. They actually finish the bourbon when they're finishing it in ruby port casks, and that gives those port casks give it a really sweet flavor, which I really enjoy. So here's to you, Michelle.
oh, cheers. Cheers.
And then,
I love that bourbon. It's the only one I drink, actually.
Well, that's because it's sweet.
Yeah.
So we are going to talk about the biggest problem business owners face, and that is usually has to do with your partners.
True.
Businesses are like a divorce. Businesses are like a marriage. And like marriages, they frequently get divorced. And a business divorce could be one of the most problematic things that a business can go through, and many times it causes its demise, which I firmly believe can be avoided to a large extent if business owners would take the time before they begin, or when they start, or when they bring in a partner, to have a partnership agreement, a shareholders agreement, an operating agreement, but something almost like a prenup that takes care of, covers issues that could arise. And one of the biggest things I advocate for is that before they go running into court, they consider or forced into a mediation. And the mediation is ideally situated to keep them out of court. The worst place you want to be with your business is court. It's merciless. The lawyers are expensive, and you'll never like the final result. And so I suggest that people, if they want to avoid problems, to be proactive. Establish a good relationship with a lawyer or other professionals, and consider someone to be their trusted advisor to your business. So that's my big business tip of the day. I could give you some war stories about ugly business divorces, but I will tell you that I've had them go all the way to jury trials, and it's not a lot of fun. The most fun, I guess I had one case was really fun. One guy had a partner, and he did a whistleblower on somebody else who was competing against him. On his own, one night, he went online, filed a whistleblower complaint on this other company, saying that they were violating certain laws. And sure enough, they were. And he ended up getting his whistleblower's fee, which is significant, and turned out to be something like $25 million.
Oh, really?
And the partner claimed that was an asset of the business. And they sued to see if they could split that $25 million. And he eventually won, and he couldn't get the split, but it was a lot of fun. It was very expensive. And that's what happens to litigation sometimes.
We'll be back again next week.
Okay. Ciao, Bella.
Ciao, George.